My coworker knows I am married, but she tried to get intimate with me in her car. After I turned her down, she has been constantly telling me how interested she is in me and trying to meet with me after work, and I don't know what to do. Posted by you/as your doctor. First of all, sorry, English is not my first language. So, it is as the title says. She is 26F, and I am 24M. We work at the same office, she sits at the desk across from mine and is married as well as I am, and recently we've been talking more with each other, but nothing out of the ordinary. I have a good relationship with pretty much everyone here, except for Carl, F you Carl and your credit stealing habits. Just cheap chat about regular stuff, how was the weekend, look at this funny video, what do you think about this, that, etc. Then she started texting, telling me that she is surprised about how easy it is to talk to me and how she enjoys how the conversation just flows. And I was like, cool, me too, you're nice. Last week I left my car at the auto repair, since the brakes started to make a funny noise, and since she lives 2 blocks away from where I live, I asked for a ride home. We are in traffic going home, talking about regular stuff, then she brings up the subject again about how nice our conversations have been, and I agree. I have plenty of female friends, so this is not uncommon for me. Then she starts talking about how interesting it is that we have some different opinions about stuff but we get along well anyway, and I'm like, yeah, sure. This is when I noticed things got weird. She then says she started looking at me differently, and that she's attracted to me, and she put her hand on my thigh. I thanked her and told her she's nice and good looking, but we're just colleagues, we're both married, I respect her, but I'm not interested, so no way anything is going to happen. The rest of the ride was an awkward silence. When I got home, she kept texting me about how we're getting along so well and stuff, how she is not in the best moment in her marriage, etc. Then I received a lot of Instagram notifications of her mass liking my photos. I replied to the text trying not to be rude, saying that maybe she should use her energy and time to resolve the problem she is having at home instead of this. At this point I think she is crazy, and the best way to avoid any problems is to just dismiss the crazy stuff she is saying and keep it cool and distant, since we work together in a 55-person company. She says it's not just physical attraction, and that she's jealous and can't stand seeing my wife's posts on Instagram with me. Red alert. And now she wants to meet me after work or during the lunch break out of the office, to talk about things. I haven't told any of this to my wife yet, and I was not planning to do so, since she is way too stressed out recently with her job and some problems with her parents. So I'd like to know from the almighty and all-knowing Reddit how to avoid this crazy lady getting crazier and trying to cause problems at work and with my marriage? Wives of Reddit, if you were my wife, would you like me to tell you what's happening or just deal with it? My plan so far is to let her know again that I'm not interested, just play it cool and dismiss what she is saying, slowly decreasing the number of interactions we have until everything fades into regular coworker stuff. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. You need to tell 2 people. 1. Your wife. 2. Human resources. Show them the texts, including your request that she stop contacting you or hitting on you. You need to tell your wife and HR because this could easily spiral out of control, and you need to be on top of the story. Also, you gotta trust your wife, man. Then, stop talking to this coworker about anything that isn't directly work related. Update 2 weeks later. Sorry it took so long to update you. First of all, thanks for all the advice. Since it was the first time this happened to me in such a blunt way, I tried to handle it the best I could, but I was kind of lost about what to do. So thanks again, your advice really helped me. Following your advice, I got home yesterday, asked my wife to sit down, and told her what was going on. I showed her all the messages and explained to her in detail what happened. She was really concerned, didn't get mad or anything, she was just worried that, using her words, that BTCH would ruin your career and stress you out. So I told her I would talk to my boss and HR the next day, and so I did. I arrived earlier, scheduled the meeting with HR and my boss. He went pale when I told him I'd like to talk with him and HR together. Later he said he thought I would quit, ha ha. I sat down with them, asked them to be prepared for a Mexican soap opera, and then showed them all the messages and explained to them all that happened. I told them I'd like her to be moved to another desk and that I trusted them to discipline her so she would stop harassing me. They listened very quietly, nodding between sentences and asking quick questions when in doubt. After I finished telling my tale, they said they would call her in to talk and address the subject, and that I could rest assured they would take all reasonable measures. I went back to my desk and got to work. I was going on a business trip to see Dad to Mexico the following week, so I was pretty busy. Then I heard the BCCC phone, short for Bat Crap Crazy Coworker, ring. She looked at me with suspicion in her eyes when she got up and went to talk to HR. I tried to avoid eye contact and didn't express anything. 1 hour later she came back crying, got her purse, and left. Everybody in the office was like, WTF just happened? My boss then called me into his office and told me what happened. They told her I had told them what was going on. Then she made a whole dramatic show, saying she was in love with me and was fighting for what she thought was right, etc., etc., etc. My boss and the HR person dismissed her silly arguments and told her she would need to keep things professional and move to another desk, otherwise they would have to rescind the work contract. And she preferred to get fired, so from now on she no longer works with me. It has been 2 weeks and so far nothing related to the subject has happened, so I guess my life is back the way I like it, just peace and quiet. So, thanks again for all the advice. I think my thoughts were kind of clouded by this crap. You guys made me think clearly, so thanks. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Wow. This woman is mentally ill. No joke. She is completely detached from reality if she's pulling crap like this when facing both her boss and HR. That is unhinged. Keep a sharp eye out, op. She knows where you live, and she's no longer constrained by the prospect of losing her job. Don't hesitate to call the police if she shows up. Op's response. Thanks for this. I think I've been a little naive, believing this would stop now. Following your comments here, I wrote my logs, made a backup of all the messages, and requested HR for a formal letter explaining what happened. I was considering going to a police station to check what I could do to get this registered in case anything happens. But I don't think this is necessary with all the other measures I took. Commenter 2. My question is, was she always this crazy, or are you that good looking and charming that you drove her insane because she couldn't have you? Commenter 3. I must admit he does sound completely adorable and charming. No wonder she fell for him. Op's response. I've been working with her for 2 years, but we never talked much before this happened, so I cannot claim anything for sure. But before all this drama, she didn't let any craziness show up. Now, about myself, you're making me feel embarrassed. I'm not that self-aware. Commenter 4. Maybe a bipolar or manic episode? Just speculating, but it is weird that it took her 2 years. Seems like it escalated quickly once she set her sights on you. Op's response. Well, I'm also known for not being very perceptive, and I never paid much attention to her, so it can be my fault on this point. Op adds an edit to his post. I know this subreddit only allows one update, and I waited 15 days to post this, but this is important, so I guess an edit won't hurt anyone. Mods, please let me know if this is not cool. Just got a call from her husband. Apparently, she was crying all weekend and told him on Monday why she was fired. He told her he didn't buy her version of the facts, since she contradicted herself in several points of her story. He told her to call the company to clarify what happened, and now he was calling me just to make sure. I told him everything and offered to show him the messages. We are going to meet in an hour at a coffee shop next to the office. He sounded hurt, but very clear-minded. Just told my boss, HR, and my wife that I'm going to meet him, and my boss offered to go with me. Man, I'm surrounded by good people. Op adds a second edit to his post. Just came back from the meeting with her husband. It was all very quick. I arrived with my boss, and he was waiting for me. I just showed him the messages on my phone, answered some questions about what happened, and that was it. He said he just wanted to be sure because she had deleted all of her messages. He said this was not the first time something like that had happened and apologized for everything. He said she had been seeing a psychologist in the past, but she had stopped going recently. I just said I didn't want anything to do with it, that I came to meet him just to make clear I didn't want any of this to happen, wished him the best, and left. He just nodded and apologized again as I left. I'm surprised by his reaction. Maybe he doesn't seem angry because they went through something similar before. I don't know and really don't care. I've just had enough drama, and I'm glad this wasn't another one. So, let's hope this is the end. Thanks for your support and advice on this. Commenter 5. This screams unmedicated bipolar. Source, am a medicated bipolar.